My name is Claire. I am 31 years old. I live in a small town in the north of England. I have 2 children. Their names are Ben and Daisy. Ben is 7. Daisy is 4. I love them more than anything. They are the reason I wake up every morning. They are the reason I smile. But I do not smile because of my husband. His name is Ryan. We have been married for 10 years, and for the last 5 years, I have been very unhappy. I used to think Ryan was a good man. When we met, he made me laugh. He bought me flowers. He said I was beautiful. I believed him. I thought he loved me. We got married quickly. After 6 months, I was pregnant with Ben. I was happy. I thought we would have a good life. But Ryan changed. He did not look at me the same way. He did not hold my hand anymore. He stopped saying nice things. And when I asked why, he said, "I'm just tired." But it was more than that. Ryan started staying out late. He came home after midnight. Sometimes he did not come home at all. When I asked where he was, he got angry. He said I was asking too many questions. He shouted at me. Sometimes he broke things. He never said sorry. I stopped asking after a while. I was scared. I did not want the children to hear us fight. I did not want them to feel afraid. At first, I thought maybe he was working more. Maybe we needed the money. I looked in his pockets for a clue. I checked his phone. I found nothing. But one night, I saw something. He left his phone on the table. A message popped up. It said, "I miss you too." It was from a woman named Sophie. I froze. I felt my heart break. He walked into the room and saw me looking. He took the phone fast. "Don't touch my phone," he said. Then he smiled like nothing happened. "It's nothing, Claire. Just a friend from work." But I knew it was a lie. I wanted to leave. I really did, but then I looked at Ben and Daisy. Ben had a school play that week. Daisy had a small cough. They needed me, and I thought, maybe they needed him too. I stayed for them. I told myself, just a little longer. I said, maybe Ryan will change. But he did not. He got worse. He started drinking more. Some nights he came home with beer on his breath. He spoke loudly. He dropped his bag on the floor and turned on the TV. I was in bed, but I could not sleep. My body felt cold. My mind felt tired. I closed my eyes and hoped he would fall asleep fast. When he drank, he talked too much. He said things that hurt. "You do nothing," he told me once. "You sit here all day like a lazy woman." I worked part-time at a small food shop. I cooked. I cleaned. I took care of the kids. But to him, it was never enough. One night he came home very late. I was waiting. I asked, "Where were you?" He laughed. "With friends," he said. Then he added, "Why do you care? You're not my mother." My hands were shaking. I went to the kitchen and drank a glass of water. He followed me. "Don't walk away from me," he said. I looked at the floor. I said nothing. He stood close. Too close. For a moment I thought he would hit me, but he didn't. He just said, You should be lucky I'm still here." Then he walked away. I went to the bathroom and cried. I turned on the tap so he could not hear me. My tears fell into the sink. My face felt hot. I looked at myself in the mirror. I looked tired. My skin was pale. My eyes had no light. I asked myself, "What happened to you?" I used to smile. I used to dream. I wanted to travel. I wanted to feel free. But now I was stuck. The next morning, I made breakfast for Ben and Daisy. I put on a smile. I packed Ben's school bag. I tied Daisy's hair. Ryan stayed in bed. He never helped. Ben asked, "Why is Daddy always sleeping?" I said, "He's tired, honey." I lied to my child, and it hurt. I wanted to protect them, but I also wanted to tell the truth. I just didn't know how. Some days were better than others. On good days, Ryan acted normal. He joked with Ben. He kissed Daisy on the head. He asked if I needed help, and I would feel hope. I would think, maybe today is the day he changes. But it never lasted. The next day he was cold again. The good days were like the sun in winter, bright for a moment, then gone. My sister's name is Amy. She lives in another city. She called me once a week. "How are you?" she always asked. I said, "I'm fine." But I was not fine. I wanted to tell her. I wanted to say, "Ryan is not the man you think he is." But I was ashamed. I didn't want her to worry. I didn't want her to say, "Leave him," because I couldn't. Not yet. One Sunday we went to the park. The sun was out. Ben played on the slide. Daisy ran in the grass. I sat on a bench. Ryan was on his phone. He did not talk. He did not look up. I watched other families. They laughed. They smiled. I felt a deep pain inside me. I thought, this is not how life should be. I wanted a kind man. I wanted a safe home. I wanted peace. That night, I sat in bed and looked at my children. They were sleeping. Ben was holding his small blue toy. Daisy had her thumb in her mouth. They looked so sweet, so calm. I whispered, "I'm sorry." I felt like I failed them. I was staying in a house full of lies, but I didn't know what else to do. I was scared. I had no plan, no money, no help. But something inside me was changing, slowly. I did not feel strong yet, but I felt something new. A small voice in my heart. It said, "You don't have to live like this." I held on to that voice. It was small, but it was real. The next few weeks were the same. Ryan was cold, then kind, then cold again. It was like the weather in April. You never knew what would happen. I tried to keep the house calm. I played music in the kitchen. I baked simple meals. I told stories to the kids. I wanted to make our home feel warm, but the walls were heavy. They held too many secrets. One day at work, I felt very tired. My legs hurt. My head was heavy. My manager looked at me and said, "Are you okay?" I smiled. "Just tired," I said. I could not tell her the truth. I didn't want people to know about my home. I felt like I was living two lives, one at work, one at home. I felt like I was wearing a mask. That night, Ryan came home early. He brought food from outside. He even brought juice boxes for the kids. He smiled and said, "Let's have dinner together." I was shocked. I sat down. I watched him laugh with Ben. I saw Daisy climb into his lap. My heart hurt. I wanted this Ryan, the old Ryan, the kind one. I said nothing. I just watched. I wanted to believe he was back, but the next night, he was gone again. No text. No call. He came home past midnight. He smelled like perfume. He said nothing, just walked to the shower. I sat in the dark living room. My heart felt heavy. My eyes were dry. I was too tired to cry. I just closed my eyes and waited for sleep. The next morning, I woke up early. I looked at myself in the mirror. I touched my face. I did not know who I was anymore. Then Daisy came in. "Good morning, Mommy," she said. Her voice was sweet. I smiled. I picked her up. "Good morning, baby." She kissed my cheek. My heart felt full. She gave me strength. Later that day, I saw Ryan's phone on the table again. I did not want to check, but my hands moved on their own. I opened the phone. He forgot to lock it. There were more messages, more from Sophie. One said, "When will you tell her?" Another said, "I'm tired of hiding." I felt sick. I put the phone down. I heard him coming. I walked to the kitchen fast. I made tea and pretended nothing happened. He walked in and looked at me. "You look nervous," he said. I shook my head. "I'm fine." He stared at me. Then he smiled. "You always say that." He took the tea and walked away. I sat at the table. I looked at the cup in my hand. My fingers felt cold. I whispered to myself, "Why am I still here?" That evening, my sister Amy called. I picked up. My voice was soft. "Hey," she said. "Claire, are you okay? You sound tired." I paused. Then I said, "I am tired, Amy." My voice broke. "I'm really tired." She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "Do you want to talk?" I looked at the door. Ryan was watching TV. I whispered, "I can't right now." She said, "Okay. I'm here when you're ready." I felt a tear fall. I wiped it fast. I didn't want Ryan to see. The kids went to bed early that night. I read them a story. I sang a small song. I kissed their heads. "Good night, my loves," I said. Then I sat in the dark living room. Ryan was asleep on the couch. The TV was still on. I turned the sound down. I just sat there, thinking. I thought about our wedding. I thought about the way he looked at me. I thought about how happy I was. That girl felt so far away now. I started asking myself big questions. What will happen next year? In 5 years? Can I keep living like this? What will my kids learn from this home? Will Ben grow up and treat women like this? Will Daisy think this is what love looks like? My heart said no. My body said no. But my fear said yes. My fear said stay. Stay where it's safe, even if it hurts. One night, Ben had a small fever. He was hot. He was crying. I held him. I gave him water. I gave him medicine. Ryan was in the other room, playing games on his phone. He didn't ask how Ben was. He didn't come to help. I stayed up all night with Ben. I watched him sleep. I touched his hair. I whispered, "I'm here." I felt strong and weak at the same time. In the morning, Ryan walked in. He looked at Ben. Then he looked at me. "You look tired," he said. I nodded. "He had a fever," I said. Ryan said, "You worry too much." Then he walked away. No care, no love, just cold words. My heart broke again, but this time it broke in a new way. It broke in silence. A few days later, Amy came to visit. She brought toys for the kids. She brought coffee for me. We sat in the kitchen while the kids played. She looked at me and said, "Claire, this is not okay." I looked down. I said nothing. She held my hand. "You don't have to live like this," she said. I felt my eyes fill with tears. I said, "I don't know where to go." She said, "You can come to me." I shook my head. "It's not that easy." She said, "I know it's not easy, but staying is not easy either." Her words stayed in my mind, even after she left. That night, I looked at my kids again while they slept. I thought about Amy's words. Staying is not easy either. She was right. I was not living. I was just trying to survive. The next week, Ryan left town for 2 days. He said it was for work. I knew it wasn't, but I didn't ask. I used that time to think. I made a small plan. I cleaned the house. I packed 2 small bags and hid them in the closet. I wrote Amy a short message. "I'm almost ready." She replied, "I'll be here." When Ryan came back, he brought gifts for the kids. He kissed me on the cheek. I didn't feel anything. I just smiled. "Thank you," I said. He didn't know what I was thinking. He didn't know what I was planning. And for the first time in years, I felt like I had some control. A little. But it was enough for now. That night, I sat in the bathroom and looked in the mirror again. My face still looked tired, but my eyes were different. They had a small light, a small fire. I whispered, "Soon." I was not ready to leave yet, but I was getting close, and this time I would not wait for a good day. I would make one. 2 weeks passed. I kept the bags hidden in the closet behind the winter coats. I did not tell anyone, not even Ben, not Daisy. They were too young. I just watched. I waited. I looked for the right moment. Each day, I made simple plans in my head. What to take? Where to go? What time? It felt like I was walking on ice. One wrong move, and it would all break. Ryan did not notice. He was busy with his phone, with his nights out, with his silence. One evening, I saw him outside. He was standing near his car, talking on the phone. I could not hear everything, but I heard one word: baby. My heart stopped. I closed the window fast. I felt sick again, but I also felt something new. I felt done. That night, I watched him sleep. His mouth was open. His phone was on the floor. I picked it up. I opened it. No lock again. I read his messages. Sophie again. She sent pictures. She sent hearts. One message said, "Did she find out yet?" I looked at him. I felt nothing. Not hate. Not love. Just nothing. I walked back to the kitchen and poured myself some water. I took a deep breath. I was ready. The next morning, I sent Amy another message. "I want to come next weekend." She replied, "Okay, come Saturday. I will be here." My hands were shaking. My heart was racing. But I knew it was time. I started to take small things and hide them in my work bag. Toothbrushes, socks, a few photos, the kids' school books. I moved like a quiet mouse, step by step. On Friday, I told Ryan I had to work on Saturday morning. He didn't ask questions. He just said, "Whatever." I packed lunch for the kids like always. I smiled like always. But inside, I was getting stronger. I was not afraid like before. I was not frozen. I was moving. Finally. Saturday came. I woke up at 6 a.m. I made breakfast. I helped Ben get dressed. I brushed Daisy's hair. Then I said, "We're going to see Auntie Amy today." Ben smiled. "Yay," he said. "Can we stay the night?" I looked at him. "Maybe," I said. I took the bags from the closet. Ryan was still in bed. I didn't say goodbye. We left the house. The air was cold, but my body felt warm. We walked to the bus stop. Ben held my hand. Daisy skipped beside me. We sat on the bus. I looked out the window. I saw the trees, the shops, the sky. Everything looked different. Not better, but new. I held back tears. Amy was waiting at the station. She ran to hug me. She looked at the kids and smiled. "Welcome," she said. "You're safe now." We went to her small flat. It was clean, simple, bright. The kids played with toys. I sat on the couch and looked around. No shouting, no fear, no lies. I closed my eyes and breathed in deep. That night, Amy made dinner, pasta and bread. We sat at the table and ate together. The kids laughed. They looked happy. I looked at them. I felt proud. I had done something hard, but I did it for them and for me. Amy sat next to me. She said, I'm proud of you. I smiled, but I still felt scared. What would Ryan do when he found out? The next day I turned on my phone. I saw many missed calls, all from Ryan. Then came the texts. Where are you? What's going on? Are you serious? Come back now. I read them all. Then I put the phone down. I did not reply. I just held Daisy in my arms. She rested her head on my chest. Her breath was soft. I felt peace. On Monday, I went to a help center. Amy came with me. The woman there was kind. She listened to my story. She said, "You're not alone. We can help." She gave me papers, a new phone number, a plan. I said thank you. It felt strange to ask for help, but also good. I was not weak. I was brave. Ryan kept calling, every day. Some texts were angry, some were soft. The kids need their dad. Let's talk. I miss you. I knew the truth. He did not miss me. He missed control. I blocked his number. I cried after. It felt like cutting a rope. But that rope had hurt me for years. Ben asked, "Are we going home soon?" I sat down next to him. "No, sweetie," I said. "This is home for now." He looked confused. "But Daddy is there." I took his hand. "I know," I said, "but Mommy was very sad there, and I don't want to be sad anymore." He looked at me for a long time. Then he said, "Okay." He hugged me. My eyes filled with tears. I started looking for new work, something close, something simple. I didn't care about money. I just wanted to feel normal. I found a job helping at a school kitchen. The hours were good. The people were kind. On my first day, I smiled for real. Not the fake smile I used with Ryan. A real one. I felt proud. Days turned into weeks. Amy helped a lot. She picked up the kids when I worked late. She made dinners. She cleaned. But more than anything, she made me feel safe. One night we sat on the sofa. She asked, "Do you miss him?" I looked down. "I miss the man I thought he was," I said, "but not the one he became." I had one dream now, a quiet life, a safe home, a happy heart. Not big things, just peace. I did not need roses or gifts. I just wanted my children to feel love, and I wanted to feel it too. One evening, I got a letter from Ryan's lawyer. He wanted to see the kids. I knew this would come. I talked to a counselor. She helped me understand the steps. I did not say no, but I wanted rules. I wanted safety. I wanted to do what was best for Ben and Daisy, not for Ryan. I felt stronger each day. Some days were still hard. I cried sometimes. I missed the good moments. But I reminded myself, one good moment cannot fix many bad ones. I was learning to heal. One Sunday, Ben came to me with a picture he drew. "This is our new house," he said. I looked at the drawing. There was a small house, a sun, and 3 people. Me, Ben, Daisy. I smiled. "It's beautiful," I said. He smiled back. "I like it here," he said. "You smile more now." I hugged him tight. That moment said everything. I did not have all the answers yet. I was still walking, still learning, but I was not lost anymore. I was not scared every morning. I was not hiding behind closed doors. My children were safe. I was safe. And that was enough for now. 6 months passed. Life was not perfect, but it was quiet. I found a small flat near Amy. It had 2 bedrooms and a little kitchen. The kids had their own beds. I paid rent myself. I made soup at night. I cleaned on weekends. I worked during the day. I was tired, but I felt safe. Ben and Daisy were doing better. Ben had new friends at school. He smiled more. Daisy liked drawing. She drew pictures of our family. "You, me, and Ben," she said. I looked at the picture. There was no Ryan. I did not say anything, but in my heart I knew. She saw the truth. One evening, I sat on the sofa. The kids were asleep. The flat was quiet. I looked at the small lamp in the corner. Its light was soft. My life was small now, but I was free. I was not scared. I was not walking on glass. I was not waiting for shouting. I was not crying in the bathroom. I remembered the day I left. I was afraid, but I still walked away. That was the day my new life began. I stayed in that home full of lies for years. I told myself I was doing it for the children, but now I know. Staying hurt all of us. Leaving was hard, but it was the right thing. Now, when I look at my children, I feel proud. I gave them peace. I gave myself a second chance. And maybe one day I will love again. But for now, I love the quiet. I love my children. And for the first time in a long time, I love myself.